guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would jump on and do a really quick video on how I make my holly leaves. Now some of you might have seen that I made these last year, and I actually put what I'd got left over in the embellishment box that I gave away for my birthday giveaway. So I needed some more, obviously, for this Christmas. So I decided to sit and make some last night. And as I was making them, I thought actually it might be something as quick and easy as it is. It might be something that's worth showing on my channel for those that are interested. So these are made just from holly shaped die cuts. So you can use any punch or any die. You could even hand cut them. These are the dies that I used. It came in a set of 3, and I can't remember where I got these from, to be honest. It was either somewhere like eBay or AliExpress, or they might even have been free on a magazine, these ones, last year. But like I say, any holly shape will do. It's just that shape to start with that you want. Doesn't need to do any embossing or anything like that. It is just the plain holly shape that you're looking for. So I'm going to just try and zoom in just a little bit to try and does mean you have to look at my horrible nails, I'm afraid. I'm a biter, I can't help it. I try to stop, but it never works. So holly shape, all I'm going to do, spritz both sides with just a little bit of water. Same as when we were doing the poinsettias, you want it damp, but you don't want it too wet. So I've put a little bit too much water on my mat there. So I'm just going to wipe that up. Okay, so we've got the holly shape. So with the ball stylus, which is just the nail dotting tool that I got from the pound shop, all I'm going to do is start rubbing. There's no sort of pattern to this. It literally is just rub the shape all over and start getting that movement in the leaf. If it curls too much, just pull down on one end and it'll sort of straighten back out a little bit. And again, it's just that breaking up the fibres and starting to get a little bit of movement in that paper. Once you've got some shape in it and it's starting to curl, from tip to bottom, you want to draw a line with the thinner end of the ball stylus. You're just going to draw a line. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. You know, they wouldn't be on real holly leaves, so don't get hung up on that. Once you've got that, let's see if I can get you in the light there. Once you've got that line, you can see that sort of embossed line, fold your holly leaf along that embossed line. And then you want some ink of some description. I'm using the Forest Moss Distress ink, but any sort of slightly darker ink, or even if you've got a paler oxide, you could do it with a paler oxide ink. But I'm doing mine with Forest Moss. And all I'm doing is flicking the sponge dauber tool along that sort of ridge line that we've created. And when I open that back up, you'll see that you've now got that really nice sort of shading along that ridge line. So you're then going to just all around the edges, just to give it a little bit of shading, a little bit of definition around the edges. And once you've done that, we're going to come back in with the thin end, if I can get it to focus, of the nail dotting tool. And again, down that ridge line, but we're on the inked side this time, so it's the opposite side. You're going to pull the nail dotting tool down that inked line that you just made, and you're sort of embedding that ink into the embossed line to make that main sort of vein within the leaf. You can see that there. Now we also want some veining on the sides of the leaf, so we're going to do that again with this thin end of the tool. We're just going to draw a few, not straight, they sort of go upwards, but once you've finished shaping this, you know, it's just the impression of lines there that you've got. So then run again down that ridge line and just start to pull that leaf back up in together and just shaping it to however you want your holly leaf to look. I like mine to sort of fold in a little bit and just to have that sort of almost bowed effect that you'd find on real leaves. Once you've got it to this point, you need to dry it before you do the next step. So by the magic of camera, and as Blue Peter would say, here's one I made earlier. So this one I've already dried. So this has got that inked line up the middle and all the veining in it. And now I'm going to give it its gloss. And for that I use Anita's clear 3D gloss. Now you could use glossy accents and that would work perfectly well. The only reason I don't use the glossy accents is because this one doesn't add any bulk or dimension, whereas the glossy accents is just that little bit more 3D. You get that sort of domed effect on the glossy accents one, which you do get a little bit with this one, but not as much. So I've just had to unclog that because I didn't put the lid back on it. That one's really good at not clogging, so that's my own fault for not putting the lid back on. And then I'm just going to take a little paintbrush and I'm just going to spread out. I've just, as you saw, I just squirted a little bit of the gloss stuff onto the leaf, and I'm just going to brush that out with a paintbrush, add in a little bit more here and there if I need it. And it's just that thin layer just to give it that glossy finish when you're done. Try not to leave any fingerprints in it. You can also sort of reshape it at this point because this is a glue. Totally off camera because I'm concentrating on what I'm doing. Because this is a glue, it will help it to set in that shape once you've left it to dry. So now I will leave that to dry. They don't take very long to dry at all, probably 10 minutes or so. And once that's dried, that is what you end up with. You end up with what to me looks like, you know, a reasonably good, realistic, you know, to say it's made out of a bit of paper, looking holly leaf. And I use these lots in my cards. And if I'm packaging things up at Christmas, I quite often make little boxes. If I'm giving jewellery or anything like that, I'll make little boxes, or I'll cover the boxes that they come in. And I'll do a little flower cluster on the top. And I quite often pop these in. And the beauty with this particular shape of holly leaf, because it's got the point top and bottom, I can cut them in half and sort of have them sticking out of the display, and I'm only then using half a leaf, because I do find that when you are making your own leaves and flowers and all of that, you are just that little bit more conscious of preserving and using every last bit of it, because obviously, you know, you've taken the time and the effort to make it. So that's how I make my holly leaves. I have also today been making some pink variegated pink and white poinsettias. So I will do another video in a little while showing how I make those as well, because I know I have had a few people asking me how I make those. So I will do another little video. But thank you ever so much for joining me today. I have got lots of things coming up on my channel. I'm going to be doing the No Spend November, which is going to be a nightmare for me because I love to craft shop, even if it's just picking little bits up in the pound shop or whatever. So the thought of going a whole month without buying anything crafty is making me sweat a little bit, but I'm going to do my best and see how many days I can actually manage before I break. But I've started making my first project for that one, using what I've got in my stash. I haven't been out and bought anything new for it. I am just using stuff that I already had in. So that's coming on Saturday. And like I say, I'm going to do the poinsettia video as well. And I've got a few other swaps and things that I'm making for people's birthdays and things that I'm going to send away. So I will also cover those in the coming sort of weeks. So if you like the video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please do consider subscribing to my channel. It would be really lovely to have you along for the ride. I really do appreciate everybody that's supported me this far. I'm absolutely amazed that, you know, in 7 weeks or so, I've got 80 people that are liking what I'm doing enough to follow me, and I feel really humbled by that. So thank you to everybody that is supporting my channel, you know, as I get it up and running. So any hints or tips, please do feel free to leave them below. If you've got any questions, or if there's anything else that you'd like to see on this channel, please do leave me a comment. I'd really appreciate that. And I hope to see you all again soon. Take care for now.